Hey folks, Drunken Homemaker here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from what I usually do. It's going to be more chatty, it's going to be more loose agenda. Usually I have something planned, and I've been struggling to have things planned because I am struggling. I'm struggling with everything going on. I am not in the best frame of mind. I missed a couple of weeks there for a bit, and I just needed something a little looser for now. I needed to just sit and be with you and talk to you. I just needed to be normal. So I decided to do a sort of chatty repot with me / quarantine check-in. So I hope that you are patient with me. I don't really know what I have planned. There's just a few things that I need to repot. This money tree that is apparently laughing at my financial situation. What is going on with you? I think it might have spider mites in it. I think it might be struggling a little bit. Well, I know it's struggling because it looks like this. Oh, so bad. But I just wanted to repot a few things, and I'll talk about them as I go through them. But I also just wanted to keep it kind of loose today and just talk with you guys. How are you guys doing? I'm not doing great. That being said, I'm very, very lucky. I think that I'm in a much better situation than maybe a lot of people are right now. I am considered essential. I am currently working, which is great, but I'm also struggling with working from home. My old work schedule allowed for a day of the week where the girls were at school so that I can record for YouTube. My whole schedule has changed now, and that's been really, really difficult for me, especially for YouTube stuff, because I like to have just a day that no one's bothering me. I can just focus on this, and I haven't had that for basically since this started. So, my uploads have been slowing down, and I'm still working. Things could be a lot worse. So I keep telling myself that. Yeah, so let's get potting. Yeah, the reason I decided to do this was because I shot a succulent collection video. I was editing it and I was like, God, I feel like I am just trudging through water, forcing myself to do this. It just seemed so forced, for a lack of a better term. I just wanted to take the time to do this because I felt like however I'm feeling right now it's my truth, and I have to honor that. As crappy as it feels, as kind of lost as I feel right now, it's my truth, and I'm not good at hiding it. I think there's a lot of other YouTube channels that are just like, we're not going to focus on the negative, and I love that. Hats off to you if you can pull that off, because I think that that's great, and I think that if you're able to do that, this one definitely has spider mites. So I'm going to be treating that one later. I just want to get it out of its can liner for now. I just don't know that I have an appropriate sized one right now. What to do? And then this peperomia, I want to replant because I put it in this container, which I know people are kind of mixed about these plastic containers, as am I. I struggle because they're plastic and because I want to reduce my use of plastic. However, I find myself gravitating towards these for any plants that need a little bit more water, that like the humidity a little bit more, because they do have a little water reservoir in the bottom and they're self-watering once they get established. However, my peperomia does not like this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this out of its pot for now and just see how big the root ball is and see if I can squeeze it into something smaller. Because peperomias, there was two reasons that I wanted to change where this was. Peperomias don't need a ton of space for their roots. They are very happy in very small pots. Yeah, this root ball is not big at all. Yeah, this is really small. Look at that. I can get rid of some of this root system too. I think I'm gonna just fit this one into a smaller one for now and just see how it does, because this one's been struggling in the self-watering can. They really like to dry out in between. They are very, very succulent in nature, even though they're not technically succulents. Look how small that is. It's pretty small. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it in here because that's all I think the room it needs. I hope you can see that. So I took it out of this giant pot, and plants don't like to be that up-potted, and in the last few months have been doing that a lot, and I need to stop. So I'm just going to remove the roots out of this. And I'm just going to reuse the soil because it wasn't in the soil very long. I want to hear from you guys. How are you hanging in there? What are the changes that have been happening in your life, good or bad? And yeah, this is good. This one may be a cubensis. I think when Summer Rain Oaks did the video about her cubensis, it did look a lot like it. So there's a very good chance that it is. I'm just not 100% sure. So also, I'm curious to know if some of you are gardeners as well. I mean, outside gardeners. If you are, have you started seeds? Or are you like me and you haven't done a single thing because you're too sad? I haven't done a single thing. Most years I start stuff from seeds, you know, so that way I don't have to invest too much in seed starts and all that stuff. That has not been the case this year. I have just not been in the right headspace. So I'm going to be having to buy a lot of seed starts this year, which makes me sad, but at this point, it is what it is. I'm also going to be taking cuttings from, not cuttings, I'm going to be starting new plants and dividing this one because as cute as it is, I don't like it in its current situation. But I do like to save these because this is a good one to like give away hanging plants in. I don't like to keep them for myself, and I just got a bunch of macrame hangers that I'm very excited to get working on. So I'm just going to dump this out here as gently as I can. Oh, she ready. And look at that, it's got a little reservoir thingy down here. That's perfect, so I'll definitely be reusing that. And what I might do is I might grab a little serrated shovel to just cut through the roots because the roots are really, really thick. It's not root bound. I wouldn't say root bound. It's a healthy root system, which is great. But I'm just gonna be dividing this into smaller planters. So I couldn't find my serrated shovel at great inconvenience to myself, but here we are. And I'm just trying to decide where I'm going to put stuff, which has been difficult because I do find that I'm running out of sort of medium size can liners. I've only got the really, really small ones or like much bigger ones. This one might be a good size actually for most of the pilea, and then I'll just put the rest of it in a smaller one. So yeah, this has been a little over the place, and I will decide if it makes for a decent episode of something. My husband suggested that I call it Talking to My Plants, which I think is a really, I love that notion. I love that idea. I think it's a really cute idea. Oh, this one works. Yeah, it's like a faux terracotta. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one. Save that one for something else. Okay. Ooh, this is like rooty. She'd be rooty. See how I'm going to be able to, I want to be able to take out some of it to create a separate plant, and then I want to save some of it. I think I'm going to try to take this part out. I don't think that's going to work. It is really, like, not root bound. It's very healthy, but very hard to pull apart. So I'm going to see if I can just remove some roots. Sorry if I'm giving you a conniption by doing this in front of you. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So I got a nice little plant here. Yeah, this is going to be a nice little start for my mom, probably. I'm telling you, I'm running out of stuff. Maybe this one. And I'll just take some of the roots out on the bottom and put some fresh soil in. This is a pilea. I don't know what kind of pilea it is. I got it at Aldi not too long ago. It's got a really nice design on the design. Is that the right word? Variegation on the leaves. It's very, very pretty. Yeah, so this one's a nice little cutting for someone. Look at that, that's pretty. Nice new little plant. I'll water that in at the end. All right, and for the rest of this one, and then let's see how we can sort of divide this one. Oh, we might get 3 plants out of this. Ooh, hello. Maybe, we'll see. I might just want it to all be in one. So I'm just going to very, very quickly remove some roots. I'm like worried about how long this video is going to be because I talk a lot and I go off on a lot of tangents. And I think there's like a fear of doing that right now. For me, I mean, because, you know, I'm starting out. I don't have a ton of subscribers. So like, you know, people don't want to just listen to you talk when you don't have a ton of subscribers. You know, people don't tune in for that. And so I think I'm very aware of that, and I'm trying not to do, you know, trying not to be sort of self-pleasing in that regard. Like I said, there was a very good chance I'm just going to chuck this video, but today I needed to talk to my plants. So let's pretend that I'm talking to my plants and you guys are just standing by, just like listening to all of it. This could be a disaster, and I'm prepared to deal with the consequences of that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of soil on the bottom here. I got my soil recently at a local nursery here. They're doing curbside pickup, and I have to be honest, like the curbside pickup stuff is saving me right now. I'm grateful that garden centers are considered an essential business, and I know that part of it is because of the food aspect of what they do. It's not the plant aspect of what they do really, like, or the, you know, house plants or anything like that. But I think I'm not alone in saying that right now. I think a lot of people are really grateful that they have an option for houseplants and stuff like that. And a lot of people are gravitating towards that stuff right now. You know, it's a great time to get started. All right, so this one doesn't look great, but I'm sure it'll perk up in a few days. I'm gonna water it in right now. Let me know what you do, but I always make sure that my root ball is dry when I do repottings. I know some people they wait for it to be wet, and I don't like that because I feel like it makes such a mess. You're gonna hear one of two things right now. You're either gonna hear my dog snoring, because she's right over there and she's snoring. She's so cute. Or you're going to hear my kids screaming upstairs because it is their playtime. And, you know, I was getting upset and I was doing the whole, guys, I'm recording, but it's just not worth it. They're kids. They're stuck inside. Like, kid's gonna kid, you know? So if you hear something, it's either my dog snoring, living her best life, or my kids playing and living their best life. It's going to be interesting, weird, self-isolation, ASMR. Just kids playing. I love this pilea. It's really beautiful. I would like to move this money tree. I just don't know that I have the perfect spot for it right now. So I think I'm just going to force myself to move it by taking it apart. This is a kalanchoe that has struggled since the first season I got it. Not crazy about it. I'm gonna stick those in there. And then I've got a few baby jades in here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take it apart in here though. I think I'm gonna put it in here, and I'm gonna try to get rid of as much root because we're trying to save this one at this point. If it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, I don't like the shade that it's throwing at my financial situation here. Look at this. Look at that. You're a money tree. You gotta look better than this. You gotta make it seem like, you know, like I'm loaded and stuff. Okay. I was a bit generous because I just kind of want to stick it in there. All right. So I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to spray it down with some neem oil. I'm going to treat it. I'm thinking I'm going to cut off a lot of the leaves, but I can tell you right now, like I think this plant definitely has spider mites. Let me just water this in and just hold it upright. So just waiting for this to sort of soak up everything that it needs to. But I think for this one, I'm going to quarantine it. I'm going to treat it, keep it well watered while it's adjusting and recovering. And I'm just going to cut off any leaves that are really far gone. But yeah, we're just going to give this one a go and see how it does. Okay. So I've got another terracotta pot that is empty. I'm really grateful for that because I am running out of terracotta pots and I don't know where to buy more. That does not entail me going into a store, and I would like to avoid that right now. All right, folks. So I think that's all I'm going to do today. I think this was pretty long already. So I just wanted to touch base with you folks and see how you're doing. So today I repotted this pilea. I divided these pileas and repotted them, and they're looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited about how that's looking. This money plant that is throwing shade at my financial situation right now. We'll see if I can save her. If I can't save her, then you know what? It wasn't meant to be, and I will find another money plant that respects me and my finances. And this peperomia, I love peperomias, but this one, I don't think I like its growth habit. We'll see. I'm gonna water it in and see how I feel, see if it bounces back. I think it will bounce back once it's in a happier situation. They like to dry out in between, and this one wasn't able to dry out. But yeah, that's really it. That's all I have today for my little repot, talking with my plants, quarantine check-in extravaganza. That was a really long title. Thank you so much for joining me. It's going to be a long one. This is really just one that you put on in the background and chit chat with me for a bit. But this is probably going to be the first one of a series called Talking to My Plants, as per my husband's request. I am doing all right. I wish I was doing better, but such is life right now, and we have to embrace it as best as we can. If you are not feeling at your best, let me know. You're not alone in this. And just let me know what's going on with you. What sort of plant projects are you working on this week? What keeps you? I really like repotting. Repotting really helps me mentally. I make a mess, and that's the only part that I hate about it. I really feel like it gets me into a good mind frame to just touch dirt and just, work with my plants. I don't know. There's something about checking the root system of a plant it just makes me feel good. Thank you so much for joining me today and for sitting through me sort of just working through some stuff. Clearly, I need to make an appointment with my therapist. Like if you like content like this, subscribe if you want to see more from me. Make sure you hit the bell to be notified when I upload. As always, thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.